Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are diving deep into a topic that I think is on every sales leader's mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about building that high-performing sales team.
That's right.
We're talking about finding those rock stars, right? Those salespeople who can just drive revenue and crush those quotas.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about filling seats here. We're
Right.
going to be exploring some insights today from a guide that was created by the Sales Experts Ltd,
Okay?
a global sales recruitment company, and they really know how to create a winning recruitment strategy.
And this is not your typical advice, right?
No.
This is the sales experts. They bring a unique perspective. They go beyond just, checking off boxes on a resume.
Absolutely.
They really look at the whole picture.
Yeah. One of the things that stood out to me was their emphasis on pre-employment assessments. They go beyond skills and experience, and they really delve into a candidate's potential.
So you mean like personality tests and sales simulations?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The sales experts recommend using a variety of these assessments to gain a holistic view of the candidate.
Okay.
So, for example, they might use a personality test to assess whether a candidate is naturally outgoing
Right.
and persuasive,
Which are key.
which are key traits you need for sales success.
For sure.
For sure. But what about the more technical sales skills? How do they assess those?
Well, they might use a sales simulation
Sure.
to see how a candidate handles a real-world sales scenario.
Gotcha.
So that gives them a chance to actually observe
Yeah.
the candidate's communication style, their negotiation skills, their ability to think on their feet.
So it's about getting that comprehensive picture of their strengths and weaknesses, beyond just what they say on that resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this data-driven approach helps companies make more informed hiring decisions
Right.
and ultimately reduces the risk of making a bad hire.
Which in the long run saves a lot of time and money.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. The sales experts actually highlight that a single bad hire can have a ripple effect
Oh, for sure.
throughout the organization,
Yeah.
impacting morale, productivity, and ultimately the bottom line.
So these pre-employment assessments, they're really crucial.
Yeah.
But how do we even get to the point of giving these assessments? Where do we find these top-tier candidates?
That's where sourcing strategy comes in.
Okay.
The sales experts advocate for a multi-pronged approach,
Makes sense.
leveraging both traditional and non-traditional channels.
So you're talking about job boards, social media, maybe networking events,
Yeah,
even some industry conferences?
exactly.
Hold on, what?
They emphasize that each channel has its own strengths and weaknesses.
I bet.
So, for example, job boards can be great for reaching a large audience quickly, but you also might get a flood of unqualified applicants.
Right. Or you go to a niche industry conference and maybe you only meet a few people, but they're very specialized.
Precisely. And it's about strategically selecting those channels that align with your ideal candidate profile.
Now, speaking of the ideal candidate profile, that's something the sales experts spend a lot of time talking about.
Yes, they stress the importance of defining that ideal candidate profile before you even start sourcing.
Okay.
And they encourage hiring managers to think beyond just skills and experience.
What else should we be considering then?
Cultural fit.
Okay.
It's about finding candidates who not only have the skills and experience, but also align with your company's values and work style.
So they'll not only excel in the role, but also really thrive in the company culture.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the sales experts offer some really insightful tips on how to assess cultural fit during the interview process.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which we'll delve into a bit later.
Yeah.
It's one thing to find someone who can just close deals,
Right.
but it's another thing to find someone who can close deals and enjoy working with the team,
Absolutely.
be a part of the culture.
And that's where a well-defined employer value proposition, or EVP, comes into play.
Okay, now for those who aren't familiar, can you break down what an EVP is and why it's so important in sales recruitment?
So it's essentially your company's unique selling proposition to potential employees.
Gotcha.
Think of it as a way to showcase what makes your company a great place to work,
Okay,
especially for salespeople.
so we're talking about things like career growth opportunities,
Yes.
company culture, work-life balance, and of course, compensation and benefits.
Exactly. It's about painting a compelling picture of what it's like to be part of your sales team
Right.
and why top performers would want to join your ranks.
And I imagine a strong EVP can really be a game changer in attracting top talent, especially in such a competitive market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the sales experts offer some great advice on how to craft a compelling EVP that resonates with your target audience,
Nice.
which we can explore in more detail later on.
This is all really great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm already starting to see how taking a more strategic and data-driven approach to recruitment can really make a difference in building a high-performing sales team.
Yeah.
For sure.
It definitely can. And as we move further along in this recruitment process, the sales experts really emphasize the importance of a well-structured interview process.
Okay, so we've got that EVP.
Yeah.
We're attracting some top talent.
Right.
Now it's time for the interviews.
Yep.
What sets a strategic interview process apart from just asking those basic questions?
Yeah. So the sales experts are really big on incorporating both behavioral and situational questions.
Oh, interesting. Okay, can you give some examples of what those might look like?
Absolutely. So a behavioral question could be something like, tell me about a time you had to overcome a challenging objection from a prospect. What was your approach and what was the outcome?
Oh, so it gives you a glimpse into their actual experience.
Exactly how they've applied their sales skills in real-world situations.
Right.
Now, a situational question, on the other hand, kind of presents a hypothetical scenario.
Okay.
So, for example, you might ask, imagine you're presenting to a potential client and they suddenly interrupt you with a lot of skepticism about your product. How would you regain their attention and address their concerns?
Okay, so it assesses their problem-solving skills.
Yes.
How they handle pressure in a sales environment.
Exactly. And what's interesting is the sales experts suggest involving multiple interviewers
Okay.
in the process, each focusing on different aspects of the candidate's profile.
So you might have one interviewer who focuses on those technical sales skills.
Right.
Another who assesses cultural fit.
Yeah.
A third maybe who evaluates their overall communication style and presence.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Having those multiple perspectives provides a more well-rounded assessment of the candidate and also helps reduce individual bias.
Sure, like having a panel of judges
Exactly.
on a talent show.
Exactly.
You get a more holistic view.
Yep. It ensures that hiring decision isn't based solely on one person's opinion.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Now, once you've thoroughly vetted your candidates through the assessments and interviews, it's time to talk about something that's often top of mind.
Okay.
For top sales talent compensation.
The all-important question.
Yes.
What's in it for me?
Yes. Especially in sales where performance is often directly tied to their earnings.
Exactly.
What insights do the sales experts offer on creating those competitive packages?
Yeah.
So they stress that top performers expect to be rewarded for their success.
Makes sense.
And that means going beyond just the base salary.
So we're talking about things like commissions, bonuses, other performance-based incentives.
Absolutely. It's about creating a compensation structure that motivates those salespeople to achieve their goals and rewards them accordingly.
And to make sure you're offering packages that are actually competitive within your industry.
Yeah.
The sales experts recommend that market research.
They do.
Staying up to date on those salary trends. Benchmarking against other companies.
Exactly. It's an investment in attracting and retaining top sales talent.
Makes sense.
But it's not just about the money.
Right.
The sales experts also emphasize the importance of providing ongoing training and development opportunities.
So even after you've hired your dream team, you need to invest in their continued growth and development.
Absolutely. Top salespeople are always looking to improve their skills and stay ahead of the curve.
So what specific types of training and development are we talking about here?
Well, they suggest a variety of approaches, including product training, sales skills, workshops, mentorship programs, and even opportunities to attend industry conferences.
So it's about creating that culture of continuous learning.
Yes.
Giving your salespeople the tools and resources they need to thrive in their roles.
Precisely. And this ongoing investment not only benefits your salespeople, but also directly impacts your company's bottom line.
Yeah, when you invest in your sales team's growth, they're more likely to stay engaged, motivated, productive, which translates to more sales, more revenue.
It does. It's a win-win situation.
I like that. A win-win.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of sales recruitment strategy. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From defining the ideal candidate profile to crafting a compelling EVP.
Yeah.
Structuring a data-driven interview process. What are some key takeaways that our listeners should walk away with today?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is that sales recruitment is not just about filling positions. It's a strategic process.
Okay.
Requires careful planning, a deep understanding of your target audience, and a willingness to invest in both talent acquisition and development.
Yeah, it's about viewing your sales team as a valuable asset.
Yeah.
And making sure you have the right people in place to drive success for the company.
Exactly. And I think all these insights that we've gotten from the Sales Experts Ltd. offer a really practical framework for achieving that.
I agree. And for our listeners who are eager to learn more, really level up their recruitment game, what resources would you recommend checking out from the sales experts?
Well, their website is a treasure trove of information. They've got articles, white papers, even webinars.
Wow.
On a wide range of sales recruitment topics.
I also noticed that they offer some really interesting training programs.
Yes.
Designed for sales leaders and hiring managers.
Yes. Those programs go into even more depth on all the strategies we've talked about today.
Nice.
Provide practical tools and techniques
Awesome.
for implementing them within your organization.
And they even offer a free business coaching consultation.
They do.
Which I think is fantastic for anyone looking for that personalized advice from experienced sales recruitment professionals.
It's a great way to get tailored guidance and support.
Yeah, for sure.
In building that winning sales team.
Well, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
Something to ponder as they kind of embark on their next recruitment journey. If you could design the perfect onboarding experience for a new sales hire, what would it look like?
That's a great question, and I think the answer is going to vary depending on the company and the specific role.
Yeah.
But at its core, the perfect onboarding experience should set new hires up for success from day one.
So create a welcoming, supportive environment.
Absolutely.
Where they feel like part of the team right away.
Yeah, and it should also include a clear roadmap for success, outlining those expectations, goals, and opportunities for growth.
And, of course, giving them tools, resources, and training.
Yes.
They need to really hit the ground running.
Exactly. The perfect onboarding experience should make those new hires feel valued, prepared, and excited to contribute to the team's success.
That's a great way to put it, because ultimately, a successful sales team, it's built on more than just talent.
Right.
It's about creating an environment where that talent can thrive and contribute to something bigger than themselves.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've given our listeners plenty to ponder.
We have. So until next time.
Yeah.
Happy recruiting, everyone.